Hello, Christy. How are you? Hope things are going well for you. Let me know if you guys can hear me. Hey, Ian, my man, how are you? I enjoyed your live video. Don't worry about the what you think might be little mistakes or whatnot. Stuff like that kind of happens, especially on your first tryout. So, um, hey, Bruce, have no worries. I thought it was still fabulous. So, if you guys can hear me, let me know. I think you can hear me, but I just need to know if you guys can hear me or not. Okay, great, great. Okay, well the color scheme is really easy tonight, and here they are, black and white. Okay, and of course I got a little bit of the medium here. And what I'm gonna do, I'll take a, what size are you here? It's the number 8 flat. This guy right here, and we're gonna play around with some clouds up here. Okay, um, I'm gonna coat them in, scrumble them in, or whatever. So what I'm going to do, okay, so I'm going to take a little bit of the white. All right, we'll put it right here. Take a little bit of black. Okay, this is a series of gray. Okay, I'm gonna dip my brush into the medium and put it in this way. All right, okay, and these clouds are going to be. How you doing, Kathy? Going to be just scrumble them in. You'll see. So as I'm doing it, and I got the medium in the paint, okay, take a little bit of the black. We can mix it in there like that. Just go back and forth with it. And we're gonna just blend it in that way. Nice happy little blend there, back and forth. Dip a little bit more into the white, a little into the black, a little bit into the medium itself. Coat it in there, just like this, back and forth. And we're gonna blend on top of some of this blend. Take some black itself, put it in there. Let's get some variances in there, back and forth. Not necessarily going in any type of pattern. Okay, just like that. And I'm gonna keep doing this. And you're gonna get some interesting shapes going on with it. Putting in the medium. The reason why I'm adding the medium into the paint, it'll keep it pliable for a little while as you just blend and whatnot. Just back and forth. That's all. And what you're going to get when you do stuff like this, it's just different tones and shades of the same color. And it just add on to it. Interesting little, you'll start to see little patterns and stuff. Your mind's eye will pick out certain things. Okay, when you do things like this. All right. This is actually 12 by 14 inch canvas paper that I'm doing this with. All right. Just back and forth. Now, if I switch hands, I think I'm going to end up blocking a lot of this. If you have any questions, I would appreciate it if you put them in caps. It'll help me distinguish what are questions or um, as opposed to statements. Okay, I'm just taking a little corner of black in there, put it right in there with the little gray mixture, back and forth. That's all. A little more black, put it in there. Just back and forth, blend it all in there like that. Get a little bit of the medium. Now the medium will open up the paint. I forgot to do it. Just like that. And just put it right in there. Just get a little white. Just pure white this time. And pop it in there just like that. And we'll let it blend through and fade and do all that stuff all by itself. I'm going to get a little corner of white, get a little bit of medium, and we'll pop some of that in there like this. Switch hands here. Back and forth, back and forth. Now, with all of this happening, okay, I'm going to get a little bit of black, a little bit of the medium. I'll start putting in random little things in there and just blend them in, just like that. Get some more black, a little bit of medium. Oh, let's do some of that down here on the bottom. And we're gonna go in the other direction, out towards this way, and just keep going in back and forth strokes, X strokes or whatever. Okay, just like that. And what I'm gonna do also, while I'm thinking about it, is some of the spots where they might get a little bit, you see a little edges or whatnot. Just blend those in there. Just blend them away. And then I'll start separately scribbling in different patterns here and there. But you'll see. Yeah, yeah, because, oh, I see what you're talking about. Yeah. It's the way the camera's positioned. And since me being a lefty, you're right. Okay. Something like so. Now, I'm going to start to scrumble in some spots. What I'm going to do is, if I'm painting with my left hand, I'll just hold my brush further back. Okay. And I'm going to scrumble in some patterns and whatnot. Oh, let's start up here. Just like this. Just scrumble it right down. I'm using the side of the brush. And I'm going to keep doing stuff like this. Take a little bit of the black and just scrumble it and rub it right in there. And it'll start to come together as storm clouds and such. And what I'm doing is wearing out the edges, smooth them out a little bit. And I'm going to go across doing the same thing. Get a little bit of black using the side of the brush, okay? Just in different spots. A little darker black. Just like that. And just start blending it away. A little bit of the paint that I'm using for white paint is just craft paint. Okay, regular soft white craft paint there. And I'll continue to blend away. Just like that. And you'll start seeing different skips. There we go. You start seeing different shapes and stuff as you keep doing it. Getting some more craft white. I'm gonna hold my brush a little further back and try to keep my head out of the camera. Hello, Janice. How are you? I'm using acrylic paint. I'm using white craft paint right now, and I'm using black craft paint. Believe it or not. And I'm just scrambling in some clouds, some storm clouds, make it look turbulent and crazy and wild and stuff like that. Get a little black just on the tip there. I'll tap it in over here to get it a little softer. Just like so. Really, really turbulent, rough skies there. Type of skies you really don't want to be caught out in a boat in. And it's just me messing with the black and the white, creating the tones and shades and all that good stuff. Okay, it's been a while since I did a monotone painting anyway, so why not? Right here, I might want it a little bit darker. Create a nice little dark pocket in there like that. I'm just scrambling along. Faded in. I don't want any sharp edges. They kind of just melt into each other right around in here. Okay. Some of the stuff I might want to tone down a little bit, like this little corner in here. So as I'm doing it, I'm also looking at the monitor because it looks a little different to me in the monitor, so I can kind of gauge what I'm actually doing instead of being up close and looking at it consistently as I'm doing it. I'll just look at the monitor. It's like looking at your drawing in a mirror. Okay. Hello, Kathy. How are you? It's a gel medium. Oh, right here. Yes. Um, what it is, what I'm using is vegetable glycerin and hair shampoo. Alberto VO5, as a matter of fact. It's an extender. Okay. They basically it's all it is. And what I'm doing, I'm using the tiniest tip of paint right now. No blending, no blender medium. I just want to scrumble in some interesting patterns and shapes and all that good stuff. And like I say, I really don't want any hard edges. Now, what I can do is see some of these patterns you see. Okay, your eye does this. Okay, now it does look like stormy clouds going on in here. And all I did was just scrumble away, get some dark areas. All right, get some medium tone areas in there. Okay, and you got some of the brighter areas. All right, basically all I'm doing. Now I'm gonna take this little piece of white right there, and I'm gonna just tap in little little highlights here and there like this. Little corner of the brush. Okay. Hmm. I guess I can tap in a little bit of something right in here. Something like that. And we have some of that fade out in there. Like that. Now, as the paint is wet, this is a very strong glare because if I turn off the light, see, it'll get a different look to it. Okay. So while the paint's wet, you get a strong kind of a glare, but cameras love light. Okay. See? All right. So you get a kind of a glare. I got the light up top is on. I took my curtain away from it. I got a little sheer black sheer sheet that I would usually have over the main bulb above my head, and I usually don't turn that light on, but today I turned it on today. Now what I'm doing here is I'm going to add a cloud pattern up here, but I'm going from the top and just fade it in from the bottom, like so. Just like that. Okay, interesting little highlight shapes and whatnot. So this is really some turbulent stuff going on. There you go. That's right, Ian. Yumminess. You said something else too that had me rolling. Something. I think you either mixed paint or whatever. The paint mix didn't come out quite the way you liked it, and I think you called it dog lunch or something, something like that. Thank you, Janice. But you see what I did? All I did was scrumble it. That's all it is. What I'm doing, what I'm saying, that word scrumble, it's basically you're taking some paint, no matter what color. Okay, I just picked white again. Actually, no, let's do something else. Let's go a little darker. I'll just make it a darker gray because I still want to deepen this area. So I'll show you. When I say scrumble, you're just taking a little bit of paint, just a little paint, and the brush is doing the work for you. That can go darker. Okay, and you're just pressing it on there, almost like you're coloring with a crayon or something like that. Much like this. Okay, and you're not getting a sharp edge. It kind of fades and blends and all of that. You can work this and work this and work this as much as you want. I see that if I'm too close, if my head is too close, the camera goes out of focus because it focuses on the back of my head, and we don't really want that. So I'm gonna try to be a little more aware this time. Okay, but something like that, and obviously in black and white because it's easier to kind of show you the differences. Okay, in depth perception, all right, anything dark obviously recedes, and this is what you're looking at. That's the effect you're getting. anything that's lit pretty brightly, or you're using a bright color, like we got white here, um, and you see it kind of pokes out more and more. Okay, so if you want more of a impact, okay, then you just darken up the areas where you want certain things to show a little more, and they will stand out. Okay, so that's it. And if I'm just picking and choosing, it's almost like the lost and found technique if you're doing watercolors. You'll find the shades of what you want, or the shapes of what you want, by eliminating some and adding some. All right, and that's basically what I'm doing with this. All right, and that's basically it. All right, for some very turbulent clouds. All right, so you just have to keep at it. A dog's breakfast. I love it. I don't know those terms you come up with, Ian. I love them. But as you can see, I didn't add any real glazing, or I didn't coat it with the medium. I just put the medium in the paint to start off with. It gives you the blend that you see, and also a black background kind of helps bring all of that out. So we got one heck of a turbulent scene happening over here. Okay. All right. Let's slowly take this tape off, and you can see instant horizon line for my water. All right. And I can take this tape and we'll just put it in the good old trash here. All right. Now, obviously, I'm going to put water in here. Um, how I want to have the water, um, whether I want it calm or raging, it's really up to you. Okay. I'm deciding as I'm talking to you how I want it, and plus, I want to have it dry a little bit because I'm gonna put some tape over here. I'm gonna block this here so I can have a nice sharp horizon line there. So I think it's pretty much dry enough for me to put another piece of tape there. Okay, and basically I just want a tight horizon line, so and I will put it maybe slightly above, and try to get it as straight as humanly possible. That's another important thing. Okay, and I'm not pressing the whole thing on here, just the bottom here. Now, in the event that it might not be dry enough, and if I peel the tape and it peels off, that's okay, because I can always reblend. Okay, so hashtag do not panic. All right, all right. Now, considering that we have a black background here, okay, and I already approached the sky with no glycerin, no medium. I guess I'll put a little medium on the bottom here, okay, because I get new people who don't know exactly this method of painting. This is essentially like painting wet on wet, like oil painting wet on wet, like Bob Ross. Essentially, I'm doing the same thing, but I'm just using acrylic paint. Okay. Now the medium, you have to remember, glycerin is it's a natural alcohol. You don't need much of it at all. And that little bit I put on my brush, I'm gonna spread this right out over this whole area, because when glycerin gets in contact with air, it becomes more lucid. Okay, it becomes a lot more runny. Okay, that's why all you need is a very little bit. So a quart of medium of glycerin could last you quite some time. Okay, I paint probably a lot more frequent than the average person, so I will go through it a lot more. But as you see, that little bit that I had on this brush, all right, covered all of that area. And trust me, that's all you need. It will stay wet for probably 30 minutes or so. All right. People ask me what's the percentage I use glycerin to shampoo, the ratio. And if you're new to it, you can start out with 50-50. Okay, until you come up with something that you are comfortable with. So just experiment. Okay. Oh, Kathy. Listen, Kathy, to be honest, I mean, it's not that serious. You can always correct. Okay. Acrylic is very forgiving in that way. You can always correct, and you can always go over what you don't um, like, or if whatever don't set well with you. You can always go over it. Okay. Okay. Now, a few different ways to approach the sea or whatnot. Okay, you can use the black either for you for the shadows or whatnot, or just leave it as a base and you can just create your whole sea. Okay, really up to you. If I wanted to do this really fast, I would just use the black to my advantage as the shadows and just paint a bunch of highlight waves and cover this whole thing with a bunch of highlights, you know. But guess what? I'm not going to do it that way. We're going to go about it the other way. I'm going to use the tones of gray. Okay. And I'll start off with a darker gray and we'll build up from there. All in how I want to see this thing through. So I'll just do it the long way for right now, back and forth like this. And it really depends on how you want to do this. Like I say, I didn't have to do it this way. I'll get a little bit of white. I'll streak some whites in there, especially around the top here, just like that. This is soft white. Okay, so it's all right, just like that. And I'll just brush it around, especially around this edge here, because I want to accentuate that horizon line back there. All this here, it's just stuff. All right, no big deal. I'll work with that. The reason why I'm doing it this way is because people who are a little intimidated or very skittish about doing water scenes, it gives them a little bit of encouragement to try this technique themselves. Okay, now nothing but black here. All right, get my head out of the way. Nothing but black. Okay, and I should use technically a smaller brush for this, but this is just an example. And then I'll just put it in there like so. I'm just using mostly black. We'll blend in and do other things with it as I go along. Now technically, a lot of this black should be smaller as you get toward the back and larger getting going up toward the front. But I'm gonna work with what I'm doing right now with this. So I'll just keep this going. Well, the more you do, the more comfortable you'll become with it. Okay, and the more confidence you'll have. Okay, so with that being said, now as I get toward the bottom here or towards us, get a little more black and have it a little darker. And if it's too dark, that's okay. We add more highlight to it. It's all right. Remember, I got the glycerin on here, so I'm not adding any. And I'm using craft paint. Craft paint is not as thick as like the Grumbacher stuff I normally would use. Okay. Now, as I'm doing this here or whatnot, playing around with it, that's all I'm doing really. I can add highlights to just these. Okay. And I can take a fan brush and I can make instant waves with all of that. All right. So, as we got this going on, I'm going to take a little bit of white paint here. I'm gonna go along this edge here in between the tape itself, just like that. Mainly, what I want bright is where the tape is, where it crosses. I want a nice little powerful little line there, just like that. I'm just rinsing off the brush And I'm going to fade that bottom a little bit. This stuff down here on the bottom, I just cross that a little bit here and there, just like that. I know my head was in the way. Sorry about that. Force of habit. I gotta remember how I reposition this camera where that won't happen too much. All right. Now that we got a series of things going on here, I'm gonna use a smaller brush now. I'm gonna put this guy away. Let's go with a. I'm gonna use my floral brush. It's got a. See it? Look at that edge. See how tight that edge is? Something like that. And we're gonna make little wavy highlights and such. And I'll just use the white because some of this paint is still wet, so it's gonna instantly turn a little gray. Okay. Now this is where you get to have a little fun and design the waves you want. All right. So as I'm doing this, I guess to help you guys out for those who are struggling a little bit with water and whatnot, let's try this for giggles. We'll just go little wavy lines. Okay, like this. What I'm doing as I'm doing this, I'm gonna fade some of that in there. I'm going in a. I guess I can show you one here because I can just cover it up. I'll just exaggerate right now. Let me get my head back here. What I'm doing, I'll exaggerate. I do one here. I'm doing one of these. See that little smile? Okay, and that's just an exaggerated way, but that's basically all I'm doing. It's just rocking it back and forth. Okay, that's all. Like I say, this a lot of this is wet, and as I do this, okay, it's blending into the black that's already on here. But as I'm doing this, just rock it back and forth. I can tighten all that up a little bit later. And like I say, if it's too bright, the more you do it, the more it'll fade in. Cause I don't want it too bright. I'll smooth a lot of that out. But just like you can cover your whole canvas doing that. Remember, I got a lot of glare here because of the light hitting it. All right. And I'm using the thinner craft paint here. As I get closer, I can stream, I can streamline this. Okay. And add little white caps and whatnot. And I'm doing it in a triangular manner. So I'm just taking it, press, almost like a as I do the petals. Something like that, have it just flowing on in there. I can trail it. Let's give a little trail there, and I can just trail it, and it gets smaller and thinner, just like that. Instant wave. All right. I'll do another one. We'll do a series of these. Okay, so let's have one. Oh, we'll do one here. The bulk of it right here, and just send it away. Now, this is the start of one right here. That's the start of one. Okay, so we'll do it this way. This might be a little easier for you to a concept for you. As we got this one going, and we're gonna go that way, but every stroke after that is shorter and shorter and shorter and shorter, and you can have it trail as long as you want, just like that. Okay. If you did it with a fan brush creates a lot of striations and all that fun stuff. But I'll show you too. I'll give you an example. I'll show you a little bit later. So we'll do them this way. Why not? And it kind of goes in the same direction also. Okay. I'll do another. Let's do them right here. And we'll just come out like that. Get it shorter and shorter. A little shorter, shorter, shorter. Just like that. Put it right in there. Instant turbulence. All right. Let's rinse this brush off. I'll put it right here. And let's get a fan brush, and I'll show you what I'm talking about with striations and whatnot. I'm also making very aware. I'll get a small fan brush, a little tiny guy like this. That even though these are brighter than the background water, it's still not totally white. All right, totally white with the totally straight plain craft paint white will show up very vivid with all of this medium tone gray and everything. So you got just a whole series of gray um, tones going on. Okay. All right. So let's play with fan brush here, and I'm gonna show you the difference in what the waves will look like with a different brush. So we'll start here again. Same type of wave. We'll press and go down. Now see the striations? See how different that looks? Okay. Get a little bit more paint here. And this is just using the fan brush. I'll curve it around. Don't be scared to curve these guys. The striations really help kind of sell the fact that the waves are quite violent. It gives you a little bit more direction than just the flat stuff here. Alright. And it makes it look like it's bumping into something or whatnot. It's just more of a violent look to it. Yeah, get a little touch of black in there. This is a thinner paint, so I gotta kind of work with it here. I'll just curve it around like that and bring him down a little bit like that, and bring those striations across. The more you rub into it, have him come all the way down there. Now I'm gonna show you something else too, because as you see, I'm taking the paint, the thick paint, I'm dragging it downward, right? So let's go a little different. Let's use the black paint. Go in the opposite direction. We'll tone that with a little bit of white, not have it so. And you can go in reverse, from dark, and you go in. Okay, just like that. And doing it that way, curve it in like that. Okay. So you can go from the darker one and going into the light, and it creates the striations going in the opposite direction. So you won't have such a powerful, such a blatant line going across, like so. Okay. As you can see, to get the effect of a turbulent sea and whatnot, you don't have to do too much to it. I'm going to get a smaller brush here. Smaller flat brush here. This is definitely a half-inch brush, half-inch flat. Alright. I'm going to take some pure black. Keep a chiseled edge on it. This is craft paint, so it won't be hard to maintain a nice tight edge. Okay. We'll zoom in for a second here. Thank you very much, Ian. Let's zoom in here. We're going here toward the back here. Let's go around in here somewhere. And we're going to go up above that little purple box, that little box there. Okay. You want to have some gaps in there. Okay. Try to position this the right way, and so my hand doesn't get into some of that wet paint like it just did. You can use a script liner too for some of this detail, but you can just do a little, almost like a little triangular little things in here. So what you're doing really is creating shadows, just like that. And I'm just taking just the pure black, keeping my chiseled edge pretty sharp, and little lines here and there, just like that. And keep going across with it. and I'm doing it in little triangular shapes here. These shapes help sell the shadows. Okay, just like that. I'm gonna come up fairly close to where the horizon line is. When I peel the tape away, you'll understand. You'll see it. Almost like painting like little diamond shapes in there. And since I'm using the pure black, it's not nothing's gonna bleed through. Let me move this camera over on this edge here and get a little bit closer toward the top there. And try not to keep everything uniform. Our eyes and is our nature to try to put things in straight order, like picket fences. Don't do that. You gotta train yourself to be random when it comes to water. Okay, water is not uniform, which is part of the beauty of. Yeah, you guys can see that a little bit. Let me get out the way there. And I'm just bringing some of those wave action, reverse waves into some of the waves here, like this fella here can do for some. Okay, tone some of that down in there, like that. All right, now, see, I don't have to really do too much to this because of the background. It helps me out. All right, now watch this. Let's pull back a little bit. I'll add some of the white caps. And let's go back a little bit here. And let's raise this up a little bit like that. All right. D Roxy, how you doing, D Roxy? Hey Ben, how are you, sir? uh, yeah, that guy's kind of talking, and it's very simple to do. It is ridiculously simple to do. I'm gonna do some reverse action on these waves here, on this one, on this one. These are okay. So I'm using a larger fan brush. All right, nothing but the black here, just on the tips here. I'll just tap it a little bit, and we're gonna go in reverse. And the key to it is to maintain that little curve. Okay, that's all. And you'll get used to your hand and the way your hand will move and the angles and whatnot. Bring some of that downward. And don't get discouraged. All right. And remember, if it looks kind of crazy at first, one, it's wet. You gotta wait for it to dry, and it'll self blend. It'll blend itself in there. Okay. Same thing with this guy here. I'll add some in here like that. Curve it right in there. Don't worry about all of this. This can be reblended and all of that. So don't fret with all of this stuff in here, because we can always go back and add whatever into that. I just want some of the striations to get some of that hard edge out of there. Okay. I'm gonna take the same brush. Now I would use thinner or thicker paint usually with this, but I don't feel I have to with this go around. Okay, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna show you this way. If you look on the bottom of your screen, you see that? All that glob of paint there? Well, it looks like globs, but it's actually just hanging on the bristles. So that's the shape of the bristles. Okay. But it's not going nowhere. It's not dripping off or anything like that. Okay, but that's what you're looking at here. Now watch. For the little foam on the top, all you do is touch. Okay, give it a little touch, just like that. I'll turn it around, and you got little caps there, just like that. And you do the same thing up here, just little caps. Just tap away. I get some more paint. I'm just touching it, and it's a light touch, and just like that. Add a little more here, and thin it right out. Have it go on and disappear a wee bit, just like that. Doesn't take too much, trust me. It doesn't. Your caps are highest at the peak, of course. Try not to drag it. You're just doing a little tap. Okay, as you come further down into the water, it gets thinner and thinner. Okay, and you can have them as, like I say, as violent as you want. Up to you, your world, your painting. You follow me? And I'm just tapping it away, just like that. A little higher there, and we'll just bring it downward. Okay, same thing here. Bring it on down. I'm gonna take the same thing. We'll add some little highlights down there. We'll just bring it right on down there. I'll add some rocks in here too, so don't worry. Add some of those in there. And I forgot to add some of the caps on this little fella back here. Just tap away there. Just like so. I'll give that little guy a little something back there too. Bring him down. Yes, I'm using my finger. Have no fear. Just like that, fade it right in there. Bring some of that down there like that. Just like that. Some down. The more you add these, you add the more turbulent, more just craziness. I'll put some here too, just rushing around like that. Fade some of it in there like that. Oh, you guys couldn't even see it. Just stuff like that hanging around there. I'm gonna take this tape off and you'll see what I'm talking about here. So let's draw back a little bit. Okay. Oh no. There we go. Alright. Hopefully you guys are still with me. I didn't know that my internet timed out. At least it looked like it timed out. I think you guys can still. Yeah, you guys can still see me. Alright. Okay. Let's take this tape off. Can you guys still see me? Is it still moving? Let me check and see real quick. I gotta see if that timer's still going. Yep, timer's still going. Alright. Pardon my head. Okay, let's peel this tape off a little bit here. Just like that. Alright. Now, as you can see, by the way it looks, okay, the sky with all that movement back there, and then all of a sudden you got this horizon line. It looks like the sky is truly behind the ocean there. Okay, so that kind of pushes all that water up toward the front. Okay, but what I am going to do, I'm going to take a script liner and we're going to add some motion lines and everything. Just get a little more movement in between the waves that you see. I'm going to dip into some water to loosen the paint up a little bit here. Because with acrylic paint, even loose craft paint, it will get tacky because acrylic paint dries through evaporation. And even with craft paint, you'll see it to get tackier. You'll feel it. Okay, you definitely feel it. So I'll just come over here and I'll just add some cute little lines here and there. And what I'm doing is really going, I'm just tracing over the patterns that are done either by the black or some of the gray tones, but I'm gonna keep it in a triangular motion. You don't need too many. It depends on how detailed you want to be. Okay, you can spend quite a large amount of time doing water. Like I said, I'm gonna put some rocks in there too, sticking out of there. Like I said, this is mainly for. I'm gonna do it upside down. Nah, I shouldn't do that. I gotta position myself to make sure my head is not at the camera. I'm looking at the monitor. And put some in here. Have it cross and all that good stuff. Just like so. Get some more water because I can feel it being a little more tacky. You kind of want your paint to be really loose when it comes to doing your motion lines. Don't be afraid to make them squiggle and whatnot. I don't like that one. When it's wet, if you don't like something, just wipe it away. It's no big deal. Get that curve going on some of these guys. Let's add some different types of motion here. Some of these are going to be covered up with the rocks, so I'm not really too worried about that either. And doing the rocks won't be too difficult either. You'll see. I'll continue that line right there, a little thicker there. And come across here a little bit. Boy, no one's talking. And my lines will always go, it's a little thick, get rid of that. Always go in the same direction. Okay. Alright. Now I got some of that going. Let's throw some rocks in there. I'm gonna use a flat brush to do the rocks. Why not? A few people are a little intimidated by the well, this is too thin for a palette knife, but some people are a little intimidated with palette knives. I'm just dipping into solid black here. Okay, we're gonna put a nice little rock around here somewhere. We'll put one. We'll put one right here, just peeking, and that's gonna be all dark there, something like that. Okay, and it's gonna be obviously jet black, just like that. Now, what you're doing is adding more depth and dimension into your painting when you put something in there. How about one coming up there like that? Let's get plenty of paint. Something like so. Don't be afraid to cover up things. All right, just like that. And I'm just blocking it in. It's no big deal. Not using any medium. It's not a medium is not necessary. Blocking this stuff in the foreground, and plus it dries quicker without the medium in there. All depends on the temperature of your room. Okay, or where you're painting at. So you got a few factors that kind of come into play. All right. Basically, you just gotta let it dry a little bit here, just like that. Just like that. Well, thank you, Janice and Kathy. Billy, what's up, man? It's good to see you. Okay, thank you, Ian. I appreciate it. So technically it wasn't my unit, it was my tablet that timed it out a little bit. All I had to do is just tap it and it comes back again. So right now I just got to let it dry. Alright, so let's go back into my little script liner here. Oh, let's add a little white. I'm not going to add no water to it. I kind of want the out, need it to be a little thick, just a little bit. And we'll add, oh, who knows, some little bird here or something like that. A little body there. And we'll put some tiny ones in there, like that. And we want flying a little crooked in the back there, like that. Okay. You know what? I'll just keep them on one side. Why not? Something like that. And a couple smaller ones back there. A group of them. Different vantage points, different wing sizes. Some are really deep, some are not. Group of these guys here. Just flying around having a good time. Why not? Okay. Still gotta let it dry. If anybody has any questions while this is drying, now will be the time. Actually, while I'm letting it dry a little bit. I'm gonna turn this camera off so you guys can see the whole thing. There we go. So I just gotta let the rocks dry a little bit, and that's what it's looking like so far. Okay. I can actually, while it's trying to dry here, let me very lightly, excuse my head, I'm gonna use my whole arm here, a little tap, and play around with highlighting that horizon line just a little bit there, just a little bit. Yeah, I'm gonna freehand it, why not? Oh, nope, my head's in the way, sorry. I gotta position myself here and make sure I don't streak get across the birds here. See, it's still pretty damp, so I gotta be pretty careful. I'll just use my fingernail here. I'll twist the brush a little bit. Turn the brush while I'm doing it a little, something like that. Alright, that's cool. Still gotta wait for it to kind of dry a wee bit more. It's drying as I'm talking to you, obviously. It doesn't take too long. But I'm going to take another flat brush and I'm going to scrumble even smaller brush. I'll do a smaller brush. No, this is a filbert. I don't want the filbert. I want a flat brush. Let's get another flat brush here. Hold on for 1 second. Where'd I get you? Get over here. I don't want that one. I want a wider flat brush, maybe. Actually, I want one a little stiffer. I think I use this guy. This guy I do quite well. This is a number 6 flat right here. This guy. We're going to start putting some texture on the rocks. Okay. I'm going to use gray. Little lighter gray. Gray nonetheless. So I'm just going to mix. That should be enough right there. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take scrape a lot of that off. And we get some rock texture going on here. I'm going to just use the flat brush here. Alright. Do I sell them? Yes, I do sell my paintings. I have a group of them for sale. You have to check my video, my pictures, photos. The photo page of my YouTube channel, where it says photos or pictures, and I've even got it. I got it a separate section just for paintings that I sell. But yeah, if you're interested in the paintings or interested in this one, all you gotta do is go on Facebook rather, and just message me, okay? Or I can just send you the link to where those pictures are. I'm gonna use the flat of the brush. All right, flat of the brush, and just drag downward. Now remember, this is thinner paint. And if I don't like the way it's looking, I can always correct it. I'm just tapping from the side of the brush, and I'll just put the patterns in there. So I'm just scrumbling the rock patterns on here. Okay. Not really thinking of any highlights as of yet. I'm just getting the texture on there. I'm not going towards the direct front of the rocks yet. They'll come in the highlights. I'm just using the flat of the brush. Now some of this paint is still wet, but I'm gonna use that to my advantage because it just helped me blend it in there. I'm not going to get rid of all the darks. At least try not to anyway. Come down here a little bit. So this is how I'm doing it with the flat brush. Coming down the other side here. Now, because I'm left-handed, I can go right toward the edge here. Just like that. Just like so. Don't necessarily have to paint in every nook and cranny. It's not necessary. But you'll see, because like this one I'm not too happy with, but I can easily correct it. Hashtag don't panic. You'll see in a second. You can get little details and highlights and pockets, because as I'm doing this with the lit side of the rocks or whatever, or the highlighting, I can do the same process when it comes to blocking in and shading the rocks itself. Okay, you'll see in a second. So right now I'm just getting in the basic little patterns and such. Okay, side of the brush, I'm using the side of the brush for all of it. Like I say, if some of it is overly, like this rock on this side is overly done, but we're going to correct that in a second. Very simple to correct it. I'm going to do it right now. Just take the black and you can do the same thing, but now I'm going to create the pockets themselves. See how you can get rid of a lot of that? And now you can judge where you want your highlights to be. Okay. I'm just using the black, doing the same thing. The black I'm putting on a little heavier so I can cover up some of that if I overdid it a little bit. It's not difficult at all. Just bring some here. Let's deepen this one like that. Right here in the corner, very corner, is going to be just straight dark up in here. Just like that. Okay. And the highlights, when I do the highlights, it really have it stand out. You'll see. Okay, we're going to go on the other side. We're going to do the same thing on the other side here. Oh, I'm just looking to see where I want to put some of these pockets of dark here. Nothing but straight black. Put some up in here like that. That has has to be darker. I want it. There we go. Just like that. Okay. And you see how that's starting to look already. All right. All right. Let's put some highlights now. The highlights, when you highlight objects like rocks and mountains and whatnot, when it comes to your brightest highlights, you don't have to add too much to it. Okay. I'm gonna go pretty thin. I'm gonna wipe some of this off on the edge. I won't need too much. We'll start over here. Now I don't really want to get too bright here because it'll be in the way of the wave there. All right. So we'll maintain the highlights in a certain. I think that's too much. I'll tap some of that away. Let's see what this looks like. Hold on. Yeah, that'll work. Just like that. Certain areas, you can just like that. It's got to be bright enough so you know that there are highlights, and still using the shape of the rocks themselves. You almost make a game out of it, really. Now you highlight one particular side only. What I'm trying to say here, and we'll have it curve up here. Okay, let's have a little fun with this guy here. We'll outline it. I'll just do it like this. Come to the side, aim downward like that. Bring it up and around. I don't like all of that down in there, so let's bring that out like that. Got one in here. Have it come down a little bit. I want it bright right in here. Give it a little push up. The texture that's been left with the other paint, it will grab onto that. And let's put one down this way like that. Have him sneak around here like so. Now I'm going to rinse the brush out. Whatever I don't like, take the black, tap it in there, use the side of the brush, and get rid of some of that. So if you got some that might be a little too much, no problem. You can do this in color too. If there's something that does not blend well or doesn't suit you right, you can always take it out. Alright. As a matter of fact, I want some cragginess in here too. Rough it up a little bit up in there. Up in here too. Get rid of some of that brightness. See, you can always shape your rocks. Alright. Always shape them up to whatever way you see fit. Let's take a little bit of white and I'll highlight that guy right in here like this. There we go. Get him a little brighter. I want him a little brighter. You'll start seeing things as you get used to it. And maybe it comes straight down here like that. I want a little bit brighter right here. Take my finger, I'll fade some of that out there. Just like that. Smooth some of that out. I kind of like that. Let's do that right around in here. And I'll smooth it out like that. Smooth it right out. Just like that. All it is getting used to doing it. Okay. You want something to jut out more? Surround it in the dark. And it will pop out on you. You can do the same thing with the black. Fade it right in there if you want it. You don't want it as strong. There. Some of this can be a little darker too. Just tap that in there like that. See? All sorts of fun. Just having a howdy-doody good time. I'm just tapping in some of the dark there. Just pat it in. Or you can scrumble it in, pat it in, whatever you want to do. Just like that. Okay. Let's get some more black because I want this kind of deep, dark right up in here. Pitch black. I'm painting right on the tape. Don't let the tape stop you. Alright. Scrumble some of that in there too. Bring some of that. Let's get a little dip right in there. Just like that. I want it dark here too. Just like that. Okay. Alright, let's get a little touch of just a slight little highlight of the rocks. Just like that. Okie dokie then. As I'm checking it out, overall, I'm looking at it from the screen here. I can go a little solid up around in here. And I can tone some of that down there. Thing is, I don't really want hard edge blacks. Okay. I want it dark, but not an extreme hard edge. It's not necessary. Take my finger and I'll just smooth it out right in the transition between the white and the black there. Smooth it right out. This is acrylic paint. Don't be afraid to use your fingers. There's no rule book saying you can't use your fingers to shade anything. Throw that rule book in the garbage. Do what you need to do to get the effect that you're looking for. Okay? How about that? Alrighty then. Nobody's talking still. Okay. Let's get the highlighter out for the most important part. Put the signature down here. This little symbol is my first and last name. There we go. Alrighty. For those of you who don't know, my name, I'll zoom in for a second here. I'll show you. Okay, I'll take this guy. All right, here's the A. Okay, then here's the G right here. Okay, Anthony Gray. All right, but that's the signature. 7th month, 2019. All right, let's zoom this out. Let's take the tape off here. All right, I do appreciate you guys watching tonight. If you like, just click the subscribe button and click on that bell, and it will notify you whenever I'm on YouTube doing a live lesson. I usually do pre-recorded lessons on here. I'm gonna get back into doing them. I usually have them every Monday. I usually do a live every Monday on YouTube, as a matter of fact. So, you're welcome, Janice. Thank you. How it will look with purple in the sky. Um, it's actually dry enough for me to do that if I wanted to. Um, I would just take some purple, water it down, and just glaze purple um, over it, and that would be that. Really. Let's see. Okay, which one? Okay, you're first. All right. Let's see what we look like here. Like I said, this is canvas paper. It's not a board or anything. So the Scotch tape gives you a pretty tight border, which is why I like using it, because you get such a crisp border. But this is me. Some people um, won't put a border on it. Some people will. It's really their preference, um, how they would like to present their paintings. Okay, I'll take a pretty decent picture of this, and I will post it on my Facebook site in a few minutes. But there you have it, black and white, little seascape there. Okay. Um, yeah, if anybody's interested in it, yeah, I'll sell it. I usually paint them to get rid of them, not to have them stack up around the house. So, but it's very simple painting to start out for beginners who are a little intimidated by waves and such. So I showed you with a fan brush, I showed you with a flat brush how to do them, how to tone the water in if you want it that way, add the highlights if you would like. Um, I did the rocks with a flat brush. Okay, faded it in with my fingers. It's all according to how you want to do your texture and everything. So, with all of that said, I do appreciate you watching tonight, and hopefully I shall see you guys again sometime soon. All right, and you have a good evening too, Kathy. I appreciate you guys. I really do. And I shall catch you guys later. Till next time. Peace.